Hey, howdy. So I have a bit of a special goal today. So let me go to the library real quick so I can show what exactly I'm missing and what I plan to do about it, frankly. Oh my god. The fish is back for revenge. I gotta go. So if I go to the library, where are you exactly? Spellude. Kappa. I don't know if it's here yet, actually. I do love. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. 3. Is this just a Kuro recipe? Oh my. Right, tempura with boiled eggs. I forgot about this. It's a tempura recipe. Okay, so it's not here yet. There is a book that I can unlock here that I can get by going to Board Game Island, so that's exactly where I'm going to go. And I think while I'm at it, I'm also going to do the Bishop Cathedral event, because that leads to other things of its own. Namely, menu theme number 55. And if I intend to get all of them, I gotta get that one. So, you know. Regardless, it first requires me to go to a hideous place that I expected never to have to go to again. Monochrome feudal Japan. A horrible place that defies all logic. Oh, I shudder just thinking about it. Jokes aside, it is ever so slightly annoying to navigate because of how huge it is. But I mean, if I can do Omori's Labyrinth and I can do Bleeding Mushroom World. I forget if it's Bleeding Mushroom World or Bleeding Mushroom Garden. I think I'm thinking of Bleeding Head's Garden. If I can do those, I can do this. It is no problem. I haven't been down this path in general in a long time. I've used this as a byway a decent number of times, but that's only to get to Rough Ash World. So, I've been doing more reading about US presidents. And there's a certain US president who's caught my eye as being a little bit more, a little bit more interesting than the others. Particularly more interesting than a lot of people say he is. A guy by the name of John Tyler. Now, for those of you that don't know who John Tyler is, John Tyler was originally the vice president of William Henry Harrison. Frankly, neither of them are particularly memorable, because William Henry Harrison died after a month in office, and John Tyler was not exactly the best president in the world. Super Paper Mario stained glass room. Okay. Duality Wilds, interesting. Oh, so there's a... That's where Bishop Cathedral is, huh? Okay. Where is my purple? There you are. So I basically just have to go straight ahead, but while I'm here, I kind of want to go to Duality Wilds too. Let me check. Well, almost positive that I haven't been there before, so there's not really a point in checking. Is this the big wall? This is the big wall. Yeah, let's just go to Duality Wilds. While I talk more... Nah, that's the big wall. Okay. So I have to go a little bit ways down. Hello there. This is one of those areas where I'm completely content to just use a map, because this area is humongous. Either way. John Tyler. So, the thing that makes John Tyler so unique, and, I mean, there's a lot of things that make him unique. He was the first president to have impeachment proceedings brought against him. Now, they didn't go through. It seems to be a theme with American politics at this point, that I think every single, barring Donald Trump, every other time that impeachment proceedings have been filed against a president, their term is run out before anything could actually happen. Because between Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton, Richard Nixon, I can't think of any others off the top of my head. All of them, ooh, cool area. Okay. Entering the first door, then going up the stairs and entering the east door of the room full of candles takes you to another stairway. Okay. Okay, here's the room full of candles. 1 in 2 chance determined per dream session. Ugh. I'm not entirely sure where this door is, or if I'm even looking in the right place, to be frank. Okay. This is presumably not it, so let's see if there's a picture of it. Oh, let's see. Entering the east door of the room full of candles takes you to another stairway. Okay, this is the stairway. So at the top of the stairway is the child door, I think. Oh, a yellow door. Okay, so guess the only thing I can do now is wake up and try again. While I do this, I'll talk more about John Tyler. He was the first president to have impeachment proceedings brought against him. He was the first president to have his veto overridden, and to this day, he's the only president in all of American history who ran on a party ticket without a political party to his name. Or, I suppose the only major candidate? I'm sure somewhere in the annals of election history there's some like dude Joe Fletcher who formerly ran without a party ticket and got 7 votes, but major candidates here. So what happened? Well, it's a funny story that all boils down to a sort of rivalry between political factions. Foremost among them was the Whig Party. Now, what ended up happening was In the election of William Henry Harrison, the biggest name that comes up is a guy by the name of Henry Clay. Now, Henry Clay was... I don't know the best way to describe it. He was sort of a political ringleader of sorts. And had he had his way with the William Henry Harrison's administration, he basically would have been Prime Minister of the United States. Because his plan was essentially to be the de facto leader of Congress, while the president kind of just sat around twiddling his thumbs and sort of agreeing with what Henry Clay was doing. Now, and I mean, draw all the connections you want to modern American politics, where in the 2020 election, regardless of who won, they would have been the oldest president in American history. But that's a tale for a different day. For now, the important thing is that Harrison died in office, rather abruptly from pneumonia. And everyone freaked out because that had never happened before. And even, the interesting thing is, even at the time, people were speculating that Harrison might die in office. Because again, the matter had never happened before, but the question was, okay, so what if he does? What next? To give you an idea of the kind of situation that John Tyler was in at this point, I believe he had made runs for the presidency before, but he had all but given up and hung up his rack, rather. Because back in those days, if you became vice president, that was basically a signal to the American people that your career was over. You would do that, you'd take that kind of easy job, you'd get a little bit more residual income on top of what you got for being president, being senator, whatever the hell else, and then you'd basically retire. Another no, okay. So even when William Henry Harrison was being inaugurated, John Tyler was basically off in his house somewhere, kind of just relaxing. And then William Henry Harrison gave this long speech in the cold, DC air, and caught pneumonia. And his health continued to decline more and more, and the question became, okay, what if he dies? What happens then? And the one bit of credit that I will give John Tyler is then and there, right after he was made aware of the fact that William Henry Harrison had died of pneumonia, he immediately got up and said, I am now the President of the United States. There was no sort of transfer of power nonsense, and a lot of his opponents tried to make the case that there would be. That tried to say by the rule of the Constitution that he was basically vice president acting president, and that I'm not entirely sure what powers they said they proposed that he would not have, because the president at the time already did not have very much power, unless you count Andrew Jackson. But he assumed the power of the presidency, and that is the one positive note that I will give him. Here's where the problems start. What exactly was John Tyler's political platform? Well, it's simple, really. 2 words. States' rights. That was his entire platform. Just based on all the reading that I've done, that was basically all he talked about in his speeches and in whatever else. And, of course, like, anyone watching who's been in like a U.S. history class will will say out of instinct, "All right, great. A state's right to what?" It was no secret. I believe he literally grew up, like many other presidents, he grew up in a Virginia plantation. So he had, I don't want to say a vested interest, but definitely close to one. And in all of his rhetoric and everything that I've read that he said, it's that same sort of narrative echoing over and over of, oh, the states' rights, the states have the right to choose. That makes me dock some major points, because, you know. I support people who don't treat other people as property. Now, the one really funny part in all of this is that, I mean, I've kind of laid it out already. John Tyler is the last person that anyone wanted to be in power. And there were a lot of very humorous names given to him by his opposition, most notably and most famously, his accidency, which has to be one of my favorite, which has to be one of my absolute favorite, just like, not even political burns, but just like political shade. Second only to Miss Nancy because of what that seems to imply, because that was Miss Nancy was the nickname given to William Rufus King, who, in all my reading, was basically James Buchanan's husband. Back to John Tyler, though. At first, he tried to toe the line and align himself with Andrew Jackson's beliefs and Henry Clay's ideals. The tide slowly started shifting, and he slowly put himself at odds with the acting party more and more and more. The Whigs, more and more, started to hate him. More than they already did. And this came to a head not only with a series of acts being firmly vetoed by John Tyler. After a certain point, there was a ploy orchestrated by Henry Clay to try and force John Tyler to resign. His ploy was to have literally every single one of John Tyler's cabinet members threaten to resign. Man, what is it with the cabinet and weird stuff going on around this time? Because there was also Andrew Jackson and the spoils system, where he was basically just giving people political office for supporting him, which sounds like nepotism to me. But you know. Either way, all things considered, it almost worked. I say almost because there was one person who did not resign. The absolute Chad, Daniel Webster. I don't believe he's the namesake of the Webster Dictionary, though I could be wrong in that. Maybe they were like brothers or something. Brothers or cousins or... The dude was a lawyer and was a pretty smart guy, so for all I know he was the same, that was the same Webster. But regardless, he did not resign. For several reasons. It was both as an affront to power against Henry Clay, and because he was in the process of negotiating the Webster-Ashburton Treaty, which would solidify the border between Canada and the United States. And I don't remember the line exactly, but it was something like, When John Tyler was made aware of this, he went up to Daniel Webster and basically said, "Shake my hand now and we can both agree that Henry Clay is a dead man." Not literally, of course, but that is still a badass quote from a pretty middling president otherwise. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take a picture of this. This will serve multiple purposes. I can use it as the thumbnail of the video, and I can also use it and keep it in my back pocket so that I know. So this is a very difficult puzzle. You have 4 different pots and 4 different flowers. Each flower needs to go in the pot with that specific orientation. So I think, let me go ahead and check this. This is wrong. This needs to go in the front-facing one. So now I kind of just have to hunt for it. But somewhere in this massive maze... I'll go up first before I go down. That's the back face. That's the right face. It must be on the bottom floor then. There's one of the plants. Weird. Okay, so what is the orientation just straight ahead? Yeah, I was right. It is just straight ahead, so these aren't. Weird. Let's see. Oh god, am I getting dot flowed? Is this an infinite staircase? I think I am getting dot flowed. Yep, okay. Is this just a... This is just a Mario 64 infinite staircase. I wonder what makes it change. Huh. I am kind of just wandering aimlessly. But the last thing about John Tyler, I guess I've somehow made this story last 30 minutes. In a final act of disdain towards him, the Whig Party did 2 things, because remember, the Whig Party was also in control of Congress at the time. First, they tried to impeach him. And it was the first time in American history that a president had had impeachment proceedings filed against him like this. And that eventually fell through, and I mean, thankfully for this bit, one of the members of the Whig Party tried to get legislation passed through that would change the supermajority for impeachment to a simple majority. I'm honestly kind of glad that didn't get passed through, because tyranny is the kind of thing that happens on all sides. And now I feel like that would give Congress way too much power. Maybe that's just me, though. Let me go and see if I can find the right-facing one. It's not this one. It's this one. Excuse me. I have the hiccups. But the impeachment didn't go through. In a final display of disdain towards Tyler, they had him extradited from the Whig Party, which gives him the strange and kind of dubious honor of being the only president in American history to run without a political party, because he did attempt to run for re-election. He lost spectacularly, but he did run. Well, I've kind of just been wandering around aimlessly, and I now have 1/4 of the puzzle completed. Now, okay, I will give it one more shot. Simply so, oh, nice, red wallpaper. Simply so I can go and try and get the library book, but otherwise I can just try again later. One more college try for the books. But I mean, in summary, for the John Tyler thing, it really does feel like, for how scuffed his presidency was, I feel like it was scuffed in the right way. Because this was before a lot of the precedents got set for the president and for Congress and for the legal system in general. And I feel like Henry Clay saw the opportunity to extract a lot of power out of the American political system, had he succeeded in securing absolute power over the system. And as funny and weird as it ended up being, John Tyler ended up being the mother of all monkey wrenches, because by the time they were done dealing with him, the Whigs had begun to lose power. And an aging Henry Clay not only would not have been able to be president, but also kind of fell off the political scene from there. He didn't fall off right away, but he was definitely beginning to wane, starting with John Tyler's chicanery. And so in a way, pretty decent presidency. He didn't do a whole lot, but he set quite a few important precedents. He was a dumbass, but he was a dumbass in the right place at the right time. I'll give this one more fair shot, and then I'm just gonna leave for the day. And probably do Lisa, I don't know. Because I still gotta complete the game. I'll do Lisa, and then I'll probably do either Isaac modding or more conversion of PopCap music to video format. Because I have all the 7Z's stuff done, but I gotta work on the other games. Especially because some of them require a little bit more editing for them to really work. Like, one of the tracks that I'm going to upload is the, what am I thinking of? One of the tracks that I need to edit is the Mermaid track from Feeding Frenzy 2. There it is! Oh my god! Last possible second. Let's go. Alright, now we're on Board Game Islands. Okay, so... oh my lord. Let me check something, actually. Let me check Garden World real quick, because I'm not actually sure... Ah, I see. So it's actually not unlockable. I was under the assumption that it was. Okay. Where the heck am I going to find this? Now that I think about it, this is very Magicant-esque. God, this place looks so cool. There was something about question cards, but I don't quite know it. You know what? Gonna take a pause on that, and then let me just wander around a little bit, and if I don't find what I'm looking for, I can just come back to it later. Because I can do that. Now that I know that I can go here through Garden World. I won't do the iDice event yet, I'll save that until next time. I thought that was a moving platform. Can you imagine? Oh, here's the question cards. Okay, so it was north from here, right? Alright, hang on. Let's do this real quick. North from the question cards, there's a bench accessing the map through the yellow door. There it is! Awesome. Alright, hang on, let me go back and show off the prize. And then next time we'll do Board Game Islands, we'll do Bishop Cathedral, we'll do all of those things. But I want to show this off. Right above the Marble Ruin shortcut, I see, so it's at the very bottom layer. Oh, oops. Wrong one. Oh, I see. Cute. So I need to go all the way down here, push the shelf over, and then use the child effect. And I get a coloring book. This is unbelievably cute. It unfortunately looks like it only has one page. If this had multiple pages, I would come back here a lot more, but I think it differs depending on your dream session. It's one of those. We'll have to come here and read it more. That is so freaking cute. I saw that, and I saw the music, and the music is so good, and the event is really cool. I should have come here way earlier, but that's all I got for now. Thanks so much for watching.